Yeah, it's been, I think the last couple of years we've done a lot really. We sort of started off beginning of '99 just doing our own little tours and just sort of gradually building up to sort of going on bigger tours with other bands, you know, and then getting to the point where we go out and do our own gigs and, you know, it's gradually getting bigger and bigger.
Year 2001? No, year 2000.
2000.
Last year.
It was like it's where we sort of found out who we were, I think.
Yeah, I think a little bit more, you know, we travelled around the world, you know, saw a lot of new countries and things like that, so you sort of, we learnt a lot about the band and, you know, who you are and you change as people. And I think the band just developed and moved forward, you know.
I think we spent pretty much the whole time touring. We spent the whole year touring for the first time, headlining our own gigs, whereas the year before that we were supporting bands all the time. And that was the first year where we sort of, almost all the gigs were our headlining gigs.
Every time we've come here, like this is our 4th time here now in Japan, and we just had a really good time every time we come here. And just the crowd reaction, it's good to see different crowd reactions. And the reaction from the crowd over here is like just very enthusiastic, and you know, the people are just really up for it and excited about it, which is cool.
And we did a festival, Summer Sonic, which is amazing because we got to play on the mountain Fuji, right. And as it was on the stage, you can see the mountain from the stage, and it's like really amazing. And we also got to hang around in the jungle a bit, walking around all the, you know, there's a load of trees everywhere, and strange insects.
I think after that we started doing that for the rest of the... we did Australia and Scandinavia after it, and it seemed to go down well. It seemed to sort of break the set up, and it's a nice change for us because you know, it meant changing the set after, you know, we've been playing like a rock set for nearly 18 months, so it was nice for us to change it.
Yeah, I think it's we sort of had this dream of one day doing a big gig in like an arena with a big stage that has 4 sections like that rotate around, and the first corner has the support band on, and it goes, and then the finish, and then it comes around and we're there frozen, and it's like normal for the first section, and then that stops and it goes round again and it's like all acoustic setup, and it goes round again and it's completely like glam and trash and destruction, you know, like 3 different elements. One day we want to do that, and I think when we did that concert in Tokyo, that was the day after we did the gig in Blitz. I think it was the day after we did a smaller gig, and we thought we were just going to try something like that because it was the first time. But on this tour, I think we're just playing full electric, mostly like songs off the new album. But I think maybe in the future, one day we'll be doing that again, but bigger. I think it changes on different albums. I think on the album Origin of Symmetry, I think the influence is mainly sort of classical music from Europe, like more so like French, like Chopin or Berlioz, and Russian, like Rachmaninoff, combined with modern rock from America, like Rage Against the Machine, Smashing Pumpkins, that sort of thing. It's sort of like influenced by those 2 elements, I think. I think completely, yeah, completely. Because I think in the process of writing is sort of amplified in a situation of transit, you know. Or when you're moving from one situation to another situation, whether it be moving from just a country to another country or moving from being one person to a new person or something. The process of change is what causes the need to want to write something. It's like wanting to document that change, you know. And that's because when you feel yourself changing, you feel that loss of self, that the fact that all the things like your friends, your family, your job, your money, all those things are actually just superfluous. They don't actually have any relevance to who we are, in my opinion. I think those things can change at any time, and we can just adapt to that change. For me, the only thing that stays the same is something deeper down than that, and that's the thing that I use to write music with. And when I notice those things around the surface changing, I sort of feel myself wanting to become in touch with something that doesn't change, and that is something much more simple than any of those things. So I'd say it influences it completely. Yeah.
I think the sound on the new album is much more true to how we sound as a band, maybe as a live band, you know. A lot the sound, it can just sound, it's a bit more stripped down than the first album, you know. A lot of the tracks it's just very three-piece sounding with just like 3 instruments. But sometimes when you sort of strip it all down, it can sound bigger and louder and heavier, you know. I think maybe on the first album there was sort of more instruments sort of covering up and trying to build something up to make it sound heavy, but then on the new album we realised we didn't really need to do that.
I was saying, yeah, for me, the new album incorporates more piano, I think, more piano and keyboard instruments, which was, I think, hinted towards on the first album, but I think I wanted to work that into it and try and make piano work with modern hard rock without it sounding like retro, you know. And I wanted to do some piano stuff that was quite modern sounding. So
I think just the influence as well from, you know, taking influences from lots of different things rather than just maybe rock. I think you know, a lot of it was older, you know, combination of modern music and old music rather than just one particular period.
Mm-hmm. The artwork for the album, we gave the title Origin of Symmetry. We gave that to lots of different, maybe 15 different artists, so they all did their own interpretation of what they think that means. They had nothing else but the words Origin of Symmetry, so they just tried to make their own meaning out of that. And so I like flicking through and seeing lots of different people's perception of the same thing, because it gives you an idea of how completely different we see things, you know. If you think about the words Origin of Symmetry, looking for what is the beginning of what is similar about everyone, you cannot find it in our perception. Everyone has the same title, but they come up with a completely different piece, a completely different thing. So you cannot find what is symmetrical or what is the same about people by looking at our perceptions of the world. I think we've always felt quite alone, if you know what I mean, with the style of music we make, or the way we think about music, or the way that we choose to do our thing. You know, we haven't really found any other bands that. Well, I haven't really seen any other bands that I feel are sort of. So it's not so much on the level. I mean, there's bands that are, you know, better and everything, but I think there's just we've always felt distant from any scene, you know, or anything like that. I think that's just partly because we come from Devon, which is, you know, the countryside and in the middle of nowhere. So we always had that feeling of not really being, you know, in London or Manchester or in a major city. We never really felt accepted by that sort of situation. So.
I think in the band, I think to tour some more and just, I think, become better as a live band, you know, just to develop that more and just become better and do better shows, better gigs.
I want to try maybe if we can at some point do this gig with the stage with the 4 sections maybe, but it's a long shot. But I'd like to try that.
I think we're going to come back in November. Yeah. And do a proper tour.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we did the smaller gigs this time, so we can come back when we come back in November, we'll be playing like a proper tour. I think I'll probably be doing more concerts maybe, and they'll be like, you know, your sort of normal sort of, you know, buy tickets sort of thing.